Welcome to part 2 of my Scan and Cut Canvas overview. Now, I've been asked a lot over the months how to convert SVG cutting files for use with the Brother Scan and Cut. So I thought I'd take a few minutes just to really talk through first of all what an SVG is, and then also how to go about converting it for use with the Scan and Cut. So I've created obviously my document here. I've got the title here set as SVG Cog. Now, just before I go in and show you how to do the conversion process, I just want to give you an idea of what an SVG is. So I'm going to go over into my Serif Craft Artist, and what I've done here is given you a comparison between a JPEG and an SVG. In short, they are both image files. However, they work in very different ways. You can see that the JPEG, which started out very small, probably about that size, when you increase it, it pixelates, and this is because it's made up of tiny blocks of colour, and those don't resize well. So when it comes to actually using them with cutting files and cutting machines, you would get lots of jagged outlines, or your lines would be incredibly distorted. An SVG file, however, works in a very different way. It plots points that the lines follow. That means that you can resize it up or down as much as you like, and it will have the same crisp lines each and every time, which makes it the perfect file type for cutting files, and probably the reason that you'll find lots and lots of SVG cutting files out there. So that's just a quick overview. I won't bore you with the rest of it about how it looks behind the scenes, but that's just really to give you an idea of what they are. If I also show you the difference in my file browser here, you can see this one here is the JPEG, and that was at its original size of about 30 pixels. So very, very small, and you can see how tiny it is there. This, however, is the SVG. Now, my computer doesn't give me a preview like it does with JPEGs. Not many computers do. There are free SVG browsers out there, and obviously you'll get a preview if you're buying it from a shop or a store. But in general, this is how you'll see it. It will show you that it's an SVG document, and it will just really have a symbol to denote it. So really, that's the one you're working with when looking at SVGs. But anyway, just back to now the Scan and Cut canvas. What I'm going to do is go up to the top menu bar here, and you'll see the button called SVG, and the little help hint will pop up there as well, saying import SVG, DXF or FCM file. So this is the same process if you're using a DXF file, which was used by a lot of cutting machines a while back, or the FCM file, which is the native file format for the Brother Scan and Cut. So I'm just going to click on that. It's now giving me this dialog box, and this is saying select a file and then click on the OK button. So I'm going to click on Browse. I'm going to head to where I've stored those files, and it's way down here. I'll just scroll through all this stuff. Oops, back up. Come on. In here we go, and in here. And then I just find the SVG file. That's the one that I had before. If I just increase the size of that window, you can see it's the SVG file there. I click open. It's put the file address in there. Now, just a couple of things to point out before I move on. This notes box here, it has some very important information that will help you probably answer a lot of questions that you come across. First of all, the files that you import can't be bigger than 2 megabytes. That's quite a big file when it comes to SVGs, considering the one that I'm importing is around the 60 mark. Depending on the contents, it may not be possible to import some SVG and DXF files. Some of you have stumbled across this one already, and it depends on the software that's creating the SVG file. There are many workarounds, but generally you'll get an error message if that is relevant. And it also may not be possible to cut some shapes with a Scan and Cut, but generally, again, you'll get an error message before this happens. So anyway, that was just an overview really there of the notes section. I'm just going to click on OK, and what the machine will now do, or what the software will now do, is import that file. Now, it's imported it at the size that it's been created. So what I'm going to do is just zoom in here using my zoom tool, just to show you that it's teeny tiny, and that's the size that it's been imported. But because it's imported as an editable shape, I can now resize it as much as I want. So I'm just going to zoom back out of there, all the way back out. zoom back into my mat, and I'm now going to just increase that 5. So you could see I could cut that as big as my 12-inch cutting mat and it will still be a pristine image. Now, a lot of you want to know next how to go about exporting that. That again is very, very easy. There's a big blue download button here. All you do is click on that and then this box will appear. It looks the same every single time you do it. At the top it will say right click and it says it in bold so that you don't miss it. The following file name, so that's this here. And then select the Save Target As button. The reason for this is because the FSIM file will not open in your computer, only in your scan and cut machine. So you've got to take it straight to your USB stick and then plug that into your brother scan and cut machine. So you select the USB flash drive as the download destination. The file will then download to the specified destination. Now I don't actually have my USB stick plugged in, but I'm just going to go ahead with that process anyway and save it to my computer. So I've right clicked and you can see just down here, there's where it says Save Target As. I'm clicking on that and it will now bring up my file browser so that I can save it into a destination where I want to go. And I'll just save it anywhere in here. So save. And that's that saved, and it's a tiny file size as well, 1.7 kilobytes. If your computer's like mine, you'll probably get the message here as well, so you can open the folder, view the downloads or what have you. There's no point in clicking on this open button because it won't open in your computer. Now you can read the notes section here as well. If this is the first time you've done it, it will give you lots of extra information on possible issues that you may come across. And then it says obviously here, after downloaded the file, insert the USB stick into the USB port on your scan and cut machine and then retrieve the downloaded file. If you've given it a memorable name, that's the name that you'll be looking for when you plug it into your machine and look for it on your machine. And that is really the simplest process ever in terms of converting the SVG files that is around at the moment using the scan and cut software. I hope this has helped you in your conversion processes. If you've got any questions, please do either leave them on the blog if you're on the blog at the moment, or leave them below this video. I'll put various links as well below the video so that you can find your way back to the blog as well if you need to. Thanks for watching and I hope this helped. I'll see you again next time.